Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of September 8th, 2024. The theme of this week is Jackpot, and there are three big things I want you to think about as you navigate this week. The first is that Mercury, the planet of communication, thought processes, transportation, and commerce, will re-enter the sign of Virgo from September 8th through 26th. So at the beginning of this week, it will be stomping over old ground that it tread twice before in the direct motion, and then it stopped to go retrograde for Virgo, and then it retrograded back into Leo. So there may still be stories coming up related to the retrograde, like there may have been a deal that was made that has some kind of hiccup because retrograde brings delays, conflicts, disagreements, and potentially even the collapse of whatever is contemplated. So just be aware there may be some things uncovered as you move, especially through this week. But Mercury loves to be in Virgo. It is its favorite sign where it can do what it does with ease, which is gather information. And Virgo sorts the information and organizes it into appropriate categories. So people with strong Mercury in Virgo or just strong Virgo signatures can be great analysts, accountants, and comics that have this razor sharp wit and can thread the needle of a story in a really unique way. On the high road, Mercury in Virgo wants to be of service and wants to help. The low road can be overly perfectionistic and critiquing, getting so into the minutia and, the grammar police kind of stuff that other people can find off-putting. So just be mindful. Watch out. You may notice people being extra critical with their words while Mercury is in this sign. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that we're going to have a first quarter moon at 19 degrees of Sagittarius, where the sun will be at 19 degrees of Virgo, the moon at 19 Sagittarius. First quarter moons are times of action. So what intentions did you set at the new moon last week? What do you need to refine? And we can think about Virgo getting specific about Sagittarius, this mutable fire sign that's ruled by Jupiter, about where there is excess or you're overdoing things. So this can be a really great energy to refine and scale down what you're doing to be more effective going forward. Now, watch out for being overly critical because at this first quarter moon, Mercury in Virgo is sextile Mars in Cancer. Mercury takes on the nature of what it's talking to. Now, sextiles are opportunities. They're a nice aspect, but Mars is in the sign of its fall where it can act in extreme and ineffective ways. And so Mercury sextile Mars could be someone saying something mean or thinking something at worst violent and things like that. So just be mindful of that, or saying something threatening to someone else. This is like Gus Fring from Breaking Bad when he told Walter White that I will kill your wife, I will kill your son, I will kill your infant daughter, like that. Very specific, detailing all the things he was going to do if Walter White didn't do what he wanted him to do. So that can be an example of, the low road of the sextile. But what I think is going to happen, because Venus in Libra is also king-conjunct Saturn in Pisces, people will be made aware of blind spot stuff. There are people who made deals last month, collaborations. It could have been a business deal. It could have been a negotiation with a partner. It could have been a lot of different things like a love partner, any kind of business partner, where like when you say, aren't you going to do X, Y, and Z? They'll say like, I never agreed to that because the deal was made when Mercury was retrograde and Venus was in the sign of its detriment, in the sign of Virgo. And maybe people said they could do all this stuff because Virgo wants to be helpful. And then they realize, oh my God, I can't do all that stuff. So this can be something about something that was agreed to previously. You feel like, or someone tells you, oh, that's not the way we want it to be, or we need to make changes to that. And that will be an example of the retrograde energy. In regards to the moon phase family, the new moon of this cycle, when the sun and moon were both at 20 degrees of Sagittarius, was on December 12th of 2023. So you can go back and look and see, was anything initiated back then that there's like a pivot point now? Now, the first quarter moon is on September 10th, the sun at 19 Virgo, the moon at 19 Sagittarius. The full moon will be with the sun in Gemini, the moon in Sagittarius, both at 20 degrees, next June 11th of 2025. And the last quarter moon of this cycle with the sun in Pisces and the moon in Sagittarius, both at 20 degrees, will be March 11th, 2026. So your chart will be activated by the moon, which rules our subconscious, our emotions, what we need to feel safe in the same area of your chart over this 27-month cycle. You can use these dates to set intentions and also just go back and see if there's a story that has pivot points. These are fascinating cycles to watch when they activate your chart. So for the sun in Virgo, the tarot card is the Nine of Pentacles. This is the independent lady card and a woman who is self-sufficient. She has created abundance and she's ready to enjoy of some of the luxuries that her work has afforded her. The Sabian symbol is a caravan of cars headed for the promised lands. So this brings themes of migration, boom towns, the gold rush. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of conversation about migration and the U.S. border this week. I'm taping this early, so I don't know what has happened over the last week due to my travel schedule. I'm taping this back in August, so I don't know what has happened over the last week or so, but there will be a lot of talk potentially about the U.S. border because there's going to be a debate this week. The moon will be at 19 Sagittarius. This is the Nine of Wands card, a card of resilience and persistence. And the Sabian symbol is in winter, people are cutting ice from a frozen pond for summer use. So you can think about creative solutions to problems with that Sabian symbol. Also strategies for survival. I get the ice caps melting at the first quarter moon. This is going to be the day of the debate and discussion about climate change and the U.S. border makes a lot of sense for these two symbols. They always show up in some way, so keep them in mind. The Birthdate Company makes amazing products, and I am a proud affiliate. I especially love the Birthdate book. It's a fully personalized, beautiful, and unique reading of your birth chart with over 70 pages of detailed horoscope analysis. It is such high quality. I absolutely love it. They also make amazing birth date candles. You can get it for yourself or as a gift for someone else. So check out the store and use my coupon code Celeste10 for a 10% discount. Go to bit.ly/3PW3NFM. You can find that in the link in the show notes. Enjoy. The last thing I want to make you aware of is that Venus in Libra is at home and in a trine to Jupiter in Gemini. Venus and Jupiter are the benefics. Venus is the lesser and Jupiter is the greater benefic. Venus is at home where she can do what she does with ease. Venus unites and persuades and harmonizes and values on the high road. Jupiter broadens, inflates, opens up, explores, invests in, blesses. Now, Jupiter is in the sign of its detriment, and they're both air signs. So you can think about communication and there being the ability to bring two parties together in a great way that's expansive. With Mercury in Virgo, like getting down to the details and ironing out the facts. The ideal for this could be, because Venus rules peace, that maybe there is a peace process that happens somewhere in the world where there is conflict, where the parties come together and can iron out a deal to cease hostilities in the homeland. That would be an absolutely beautiful thing to happen with this energy. I'm interested to see how this energy impacts both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump at their debate, although now he's may back out. We'll see if he shows up on September 10th, because Jupiter and Gemini, like in a debate, you really need to be concise and precise and specific. And Jupiter can maybe just go on and on a little too much, just spreading information that's not really of use, but saying it in a way that sounds good on the surface, but underneath it's like a word salad, could be a shadow of this energy. But in general, this is beautiful energy. It's why it's called Jackpot. Venus is associated with money and Jupiter rules wealth. So great time to buy a lottery ticket if your chart is activated. They're at 20 degrees of each of the signs. On Sunday, the word of the day is critique. We start the week with the moon in Scorpio, and Mercury in Leo is King Kunk's Neptune in Pisces at 28 degrees, and then Pluto in Capricorn at 29 degrees. So Mercury is forming a yod in the sky. So it's in the end of Leo. It's on Donald Trump's ascendant. This will be interesting to see how it shows up for him. You know, he spends a lot of time doing his truthies and what he's saying. And Neptune is a planet of illusions and delusions. So it could just be something, wild that makes no sense. Like he had tweeted something about he would be great for women's reproductive rights when he's the one who, initiated Roe versus Wade being overturned. And we saw at the Democratic National Convention stories from several women who were in life-threatening situations during their pregnancies and couldn't get the help they needed because of these laws that states are putting in place. Pluto has to do with power dynamics. So it'll be interesting if you notice what he's saying and think about what Neptune and Pluto do. On Monday, the word of the day is fly. So somebody may wish they were a fly on that bathroom wall after we hear the things that start being said, especially after the moon enters the sign of Sagittarius at 10:25 a.m. Pacific time. I love a Sagittarius moon. It is fiery, it is feisty, it is expansive. It's a really good day to move your body, move your chi, so that you can maybe metabolize the fire in a healthy way. Shadow Sagittarius can be like being too blunt or to the point of almost rudeness and putting your foot in your mouth. So be mindful of that, or bloviating. On the Tuesday, the word of the day is giddy up. The first quarter moon at 19 degrees of Sagittarius is at 11:05 p.m. Pacific time. People will be watching this. This is a key pivotal moment for both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. I think she's going to do well, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. If you are embarking on a new journey, experiencing a major life event, feeling stuck, trying to make a difficult decision, or just looking to make positive changes, astrology can provide life-changing insights. There are several ways to work with me. You can come for a 60 or 90-minute astrology consultation depending on your needs. Engage in longer-term cosmic success coaching where we work together on a 3-month basis to help you overcome blocks, improve your life satisfaction, build better relationships, accomplish your career goals, and understand yourself better using the tool of astrology. Or mystic mentoring if you're an aspiring astrologer and want help with chart analysis techniques. Go to astrologybyceleste.com to check out my offerings. If you have any questions, you can email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com. On Wednesday, the word of the day is mistake. Venus in Libra is King Kong's Saturn in Pisces. They're both at 15 degrees. I'm sure Kamala Harris will be wishing, I wish I'd said this a little differently or that, because Saturn's like boundaries and limitations. And, I forgot that statistic potentially. I don't know if Donald Trump ever goes back and thinks about whether he could have done something better or not. But quincunxes are inner blind spots, and they move us into different situations. It's interesting because the Venus in Libra will be conjunct the Saturn of the United States chart, and with the quincunx to Saturn in Pisces in the 3rd house. It'll be interesting. We'll see whether Kamala does well or not at this debate, or what the news, because the 3rd house, what the news is saying about her or the Biden administration or something on the next day. The moon will enter Capricorn at 7:37 p.m. Pacific time. It rules governments, big business, the elderly, things like that. So we may be looking at actions around country. Mercury in Virgo will be sextile Mars in Cancer at 4 degrees of the respective signs. And this is what I was talking about earlier. There could be an announcement about accountability for things done in war or injuries to families in war or the homeland. Now, remember, a mistake may come to your awareness from Mercury retrograde on this day, because when Mercury is talking to Mars, Mars rules mistakes. And Mercury is, maybe somebody may be holding someone accountable for a mistake made during Mercury retrograde. And you can think, does it benefit one party or the other? Was it intentional or was it just a mistake? On Thursday, the word of the day is high horse. So the Sun in Virgo square Jupiter in Gemini, both at 20 degrees. So what will be spotlighted about communications on this day, or holding people accountable for their communications? This could be something that shows up at the debate. Yeah, and you can think of sun figures, our leaders, celebrities. The sun is the one, the people are the many. Jupiter has associations with professors, doctors, people who aid the wealthy, royalty, religious figures. So there may be some kind of spotlight on the health, Virgo, of a religious figure. Could be something that comes up on this day. Also, I wrote down a deceptive social media campaign may make news. I think I talked about this last week. At the election, there are all these troll farms that are trying to start trouble on the social media to get something to catch fire to impact the U.S. election. So we'll see if anything is about that on this day. On Friday, the word of the day is announcement. Mercury in Virgo is quincunx, the North Node in Aries. The North Node is an amplifier. Maybe there's something announced about a new congressional thing about holding people accountable for there was an error in the report on the jobs report a couple of weeks ago. That could be something like that. I think it's something about an announcement about accountability. It also could be an announcement about an endorsement, like a celebrity endorsement for someone is quite possible. On Saturday, the word of the day is glamazon. The moon enters Aquarius, the sign of the collective. We have a gibbous moon at 7 Aquarius, where somebody may want to communicate something. And Venus in Libra, trine Jupiter in Gemini. This could be a tall, beautiful woman with something to say, because Gemini is a sign that gives height. Venus rules women, Libra beauty, Venus in Libra. Yeah. It's the Statue of Liberty I wrote down. Yeah, that glamazon, that beautiful beacon. Just notice what is related. But this could be a really beautiful day, especially to get together with friends and chat over, like high tea would be very Libra and very elegant. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories, or let me know how the daily themes are playing out for you. Take care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.